Coming to you from our opulent and luxurious 4x8 refurbished room closet at the national headquarters in Indianapolis. With duct tape, studio lights, and a mic that you barely can hear, we hope to entertain and educate you. This is the Tango Alpha Lima podcast.
They call me crazy cause I'm facing all my giants. They try to scare me into thinking I can fight it. They tell me I should never even think of trying. But that's just me, I'm gonna live out in defiance.
Hello, and welcome back to the Tango Alpha Lima podcast. I'm your host, Mark Stevie, and if I appear paler than usual, if I appear more pasty than usual, it's because I made a poor food decision and had 2-week-old potato salad for breakfast. And so if you see me just keel over here, this could be an epic podcast. But before I die, Jeff Daly of the Michigan Dailies, Hollywood, California. How are you today, Jeff?
You made a food mistake. I
always make food mistakes.
I made the world's most horrible fashion mistake. It's frigging up my house. Do you want to see it?
Oh, yeah. Why wouldn't we?
Look at that. It's disgusting. It's gross. It's stinking up my whole entire place. And bleh. Ohio, what is it?
Why do you have a Cleveland, Ohio shirt in your house?
I don't know, but it's gross.
You know what, Jeff? That's it. You know what? I can't right now.
Wow, this will be a very quick show today.
She'll be back. She does this. She gets a little worked up. But other than that, Hollywood's great.
You guys are back in lockdown, are you not?
We're doing the mask thing and everything indoors. And, it's just weird. It's like, ugh, like, I don't know. It's just horrible mask thing. It's just because wait. What the hell is going on?
Oh, look at this. What is going on? Where are you guys?
Hi, bud.
We're at Ashley's. I'm here for Boys Nation.
Wow.
Had to fly in yesterday. We thought we would get a good reaction out of you.
Yeah, you got me. I had literally no idea you were out there. I guess it never really occurred to me.
All right, I'm in the husband's seat.
And you brought the whoopee with you all the way from California.
We couldn't have pulled the prank off without the whoopee. The whoopee
I gotta hand it to you guys. That was very well done. Did you know, Miss Holly?
Yeah.
Well, everybody knew except for me.
Well, you are the reactor. So
here I thought I was having a reaction to the potato salad, and it just turns out you're in a different place. Are you down in Robert's studio or where?
Yeah. I'm in the
now I'm jealous.
I'm in the Twitcherverse down here.
Did you now? All right, this explains why you were texting Miss Ashley earlier too, instead of just telling me what was going on.
Yeah, because I needed the Wi-Fi. I couldn't get in.
Wow. Well, so did you kids go out last night, or what'd you do?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Yeah. Post 8. Do you know Post 8 in DC?
I think I do. Is that the one over next to the Capitol?
I just ruined Ashley's shout out, but yeah. Post 8
for you.
And we hung out. Who do we meet? We met Carol. Do you know Carol? Carol, I always mess up her last name. Linda Mood Harlow.
Maybe.
Holly probably does. Oh, she worked at National for the auxiliary, and now she's with Honor Flights, and we're gonna pitch her to be on the show.
Nice.
All right, so now you know where I am. Now you
look
know
at that. Now we're all set.
Ashley
yeah,
this also
we're all ready to
explains
go.
why I wasn't getting texts from Jeff on the reg. So yeah, I guess you start up Boys Nation day after tomorrow or something.
Yeah, I need to report tonight, and then which is last week for the show. So yeah, we'll be mostly through it by the time this airs.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, here we go.
Let's
delve right in. It should be a shorter show today. We're kind of hoping, but we'll start with topic one, which this is a necessity since we've talked about it on every other show, but there is some forward progress here. According to the Washington Post, The Defense Department eyes Fort Lee as temporary housing for Afghan interpreters fleeing the Taliban. The Biden administration is planning to temporarily house about 2,500 Afghans fleeing unrest in their home country at Fort Lee, Virginia, with expansion to other military bases possible in the future, U.S. officials said Monday. The Army post about 25 miles south of Richmond will serve as a way station for Afghans who have passed the State Department's screening for special immigrant visas, said John Kirby, a Pentagon spokesman. The group includes interpreters and their family members. Quote, these people and their families are in the very final stages of the SIV process, so there's not a need for them to be on a military installation for long before they'll work through the resettlement process. So just a few days. It's a good start. But Jeff, what do you got on this?
It's a good start. And I want to give props when props are due, that even though it took a lot of pressure from external sources, they're moving in the right direction, trending towards doing the right thing. And in my opinion, I think this bolsters national security because other allies can now trust us to do the right thing when they help us out.
Yeah, I hope they keep the pedal down because we got a short window here and a lot of people. Ashley, what do you got on this one?
Absolutely. I think you're right on spot, because we have to keep full speed ahead to ensure that all of these folks are taken care of and continue to, in our global partners' eyes, showcase that we're going to follow through and protect the people who have protected us and helped us significantly.
I'm not a big numbers guy, but I think the numbers they had talked about earlier was around 70,000. So 2,500, clearly not 70,000, but at the very least, getting them out of there is a good step. And I know they're still working on Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and Kazakhstan as sort of an intermediate point. And Guam is apparently eager to have them. So I don't know. You know what? I'm not going to poo-poo it. It's a small number, but it's a start, and I'll take a start over not a start. So
over a stall,
exactly, over nothing happening. All right, well, let's take our first commercial break, and we will be back in 30 seconds. Delete.
100 Miles for Hope is back, and we're taking it to the next level. This year, you could choose over 40 different activities and track your progress on a handy mobile app. We have sweet swag to commemorate your journey, including tech shirts, baseball caps, hoodies, pins, patches, and challenge coins. All proceeds from these purchases support veterans and military families through the Veterans and Children Foundation. Head to legion.org/100 miles to get started.
All right, now I'm still trying to get over the fact that they are in the same building together without me. No one even bothered to invite me. I wouldn't have come, mind you, but it would have been nice to at least turn you down. Like, you guys went out for my birthday and I stayed at home and went to bed at about 8:30 after watching Star Wars: The Bad Batch. So not exactly fair, but
that is on my watch
your birthday.
list.
Yesterday was my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
I got to work all day. It was wonderful.
And is that why you have the new baby face? I like it.
Yeah, well, this is actually, it turns out this is better camouflage than the beard, because no one in the office recognized me. I've worked for this organization for 23 years, and I had a lady stop me in the hall and ask me if she could help me. I don't, and I was like, no, I know where my office is. Thank you. I don't know what that was all about, but yeah, it was kind of entertaining to see how few people, when I first say hello to people, they gave me just the weirdest look. And then it dawns on them, and you can actually see it cross their faces, like, "Oh, that's that dude." And then they come and talk to me. Kind of funny. It's good for antisocial behavior. But all right, topic 2, Ashley, what do you got on this?
All righty. So stand by. My screen has just went to one side to the other. It's the trouble with having multiple screens. No, we're good. I've corrected it. So y'all know I'm in former National Guard. Woohoo! All right.
And the husband is current.
And he's a recruiter. So if anyone's in the DC area, let me know.
Look him up.
I'm just kidding. Look him up. Anyway, well, I don't know. This may not be great recruiting material. But the National Guard is 2 weeks from collapse. Stalling promotions, gutting training, canceling drills, leaders warn. This is a military.com article. National Guard operations are about 2 weeks from a grinding halt as 520 million tab to reimburse the force for protecting lawmakers during its month-long Capitol Hill mission remaining in limbo amid partisan bickering. If Congress fails to act quickly, the National Guard will shut down most of its training through October 1st, the start of the fiscal 2022 year. General Daniel Hokason, and who is the head of the National Guard and War in Congress in May. So overall, this one includes September, August drills, if you will, annual training events, critical pre-deployment training. This was also affect about 2,000 Guard-run schools, including non-commissioned officer development courses. That would be like basic leadership course, which is needed for promotion to the National Guard. Even worse, Guard leaders are saying that troops will miss out on, 2 months of pay, which could devastate families and make it hard for troops to cover TRICARE insurance costs. For example, for a specialist in the Army, the most common rank, missing out on 2 months of drill will cost them around $700. If they also are scheduled for annual training, they miss out on at least $1,200 of pay. So otherwise being so, Congress and the White House need to act immediately to ensure that all National Guard is fully funded and its members are compensated for drills, missions, and deployments. I know the American Legion has weighed in on this. So National Commander James or Bill Oxford, if you shall. He basically spoke loud and proud, spoke loudly, 2 years ago with partisan bickering has led to this interruption of the Coast Guard. And I think we all remember what happened to the Coast Guard, for example, when they weren't being paid. And that was pretty upsetting. And we had stepped up to provide more than $1 million, in grants to help hundreds of Coast Guard families, but Congress still failed to pass the Pay Our Coast Guard Act. So now kind of retrospectively thinking about this in the Guard, it's potentially might happen again. What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, I would say that this is an example of one of the things people will say things, and I heard it even last night. What relevance does the American Legion have for me is what I've heard people say. And here's one of them. We're out there in the first two stories, the American Legion stepped up on first putting pressure on the government to help the interpreters, and now putting pressure on the government to fix this pay snafu, which actually is a payment from the main government to the Guard to get that gap closed so they can continue to operate, so they can continue to get paid. And I know, Ashley, this can affect your household because you're a Guard paid household, and these things need to be looked at. And I like seeing our national commander in the forefront of this. And I think some of the things that the American Legion does behind the scenes get lost. And I appreciate the fact that we're being a little more on camera about these things, being a little more visible is the word I was looking for. And because it's important that people know what we do and that it has relevance in veterans and even people currently serving in their lives. And it's disturbing to hear people question the relevance when they don't really understand the breadth and scope of all the things that we do that make people's lives better in the community, state, and of course the nation.
Right. I think moreover, it's not the job of a private nonprofit organization to pay the military. And I think when we look at, bureaucracy and we look at the red tape, and I think, our volunteers who defend America deserve better. And we have to continue to press. And I believe that, the American Legion is doing the right thing. I know there are other organizations that are taking note of this and also applying pressure. What do you have to say, Mark? You've been too quiet.
Yeah,
Too quiet.
I hate this fight because it always boils down into, they call it partisan bickering here. And I'm sure both sides are going to argue their point to high heaven. The Republicans are saying, look, we don't mind paying what's owed to the National Guard, but you've got things in there that are completely unrelated to the National Guard in the bill. And the Democrats will yell, how come you hate our troops? And it's like, both of the arguments are stupid and I'm really tired of them. I hope they get this worked out. I mean, if it was just repaying the Guard, there's literally no one in Congress who opposes paying the Guard for what they've already done and giving them the budget. The question is, how much are they going to spend on completely unrelated things? So like, should Guard reimbursement money actually be spent on people going door to door to tell you to get a vaccine? I mean, your answer, I guess, is going to differ on whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. But at the end of the day, like, I don't understand why these unrelated issues are going to keep the Ashley Gorbulja Maldonados of the world from not getting paid. It's just, I hate Congress. I'm so glad I moved out of Washington, D.C. and moved to Indiana where I don't have to deal with them anymore, because this is just straight up posturing. Just pay the bill that you owe. That's it. I mean,
It really
Do you need a congressional bill to pay a bill that is owed? Is it
Yeah,
a new, is it
essentially,
a new budget item now?
yeah. So this is the same. Well, they're gonna say that it's gonna be like continuing appropriations or emergency funding. So they'll say, you know, it's emergency funding. We didn't expect the January 6th riots, and also we need $8 million for the endangered snail darter in Central Oregon. And it's like, yeah, but those things are not at all related. And they'll just fight about it, and they'll fight about it until somebody doesn't get paid. And then the entire American populace will get upset with it and they'll finally pass something. But it's just, this happens all the time. It actually happened to me at basic training too. I reported for basic training. I think it was on September 8th, and the Army promptly ran out of money. So I sat at reception battalion for over a month because they didn't have enough money to send us downrange to actual basic training. So this happens. It's always dumb. If you're joining the military, don't go in September. That would be my advice. Go in October when they've got all the new ammunition and all the funds and everything else. Don't go in September.
Yeah, I think about all the challenges that kind of, you know, will trickle down from this, right? So American population hears about this, like, oh, you know, they don't take care of our troops, therefore, why would I join? Why would I serve, right? Or, you know, it just then perpetuates this like vicious cycle of misunderstanding of service. And
yeah, but it gives one of the political parties a chance to win. Like, no, there's no winners here. You're both losers. Pay the bill.
I think that should be the title of this episode.
Yeah.
Congress, you're both losers.
Yeah, just pay the damn bill. The guys need to get paid. All right, Jeff, we're moving on to you. What do you got for us today?
All right. Topic 3 is me. GOMORs Galore. Punishments to be issued for unvaccinated troops caught unmasked at Fort Knox. This is an Army Times story. Leaders at Fort Knox, Kentucky will punish dozens of soldiers unvaccinated against COVID-19 who are caught entering on-post facilities without wearing a face mask. That last week, Army officials confirmed. The Fort Knox senior commander, Major General John Evans, and other commanding generals across Fort Knox are preparing to issue approximately 40 General Officer Memoranda of Reprimand to individuals found to have violated General Order Number 1, dated 17 May 2021, said Fort Knox spokesperson Kyle Hodges in a statement emailed to Army Times. So GOMORs are a dreaded form of administrative punishment considered to be a career killer when included in a soldier's permanent personnel file. Though the Army has faced criticism in the past for utilizing them in other administrative punishments in lieu of court-martial proceedings for more serious infractions of discipline. The reprimands are among the first publicly acknowledged punishments for U.S. troops who have declined the COVID-19 vaccine but failed to wear masks. What do we got on this?
I'll go on this one. Here's the thing. Like, you don't want to get the vaccine. Okay, you're arguing that it's not proven yet, that we don't have enough evidence. Okay, fine. The Army policy is pretty simple. If you haven't got the vaccine, you wear the mask. If you get the vaccine, you don't have to wear the mask. It's an either or proposition. What you can't do is both. And, you know, at the end of the day, you got caught not wearing your mask. Like, I don't want to wear a mask. I can't stand wearing the mask. I hate going to the airport because I got to wear a mask. But you know what? At the end of the day, I wear the stupid mask. And I'm not even, like, I'm not in the Army anymore. But like, I get it. You don't want to wear the mask. You don't want to get the vaccine. Well, you got to pick one. End of story. Like, it's a policy, whether you like it or not. There are many Army policies I did not like. Not being able to have a beard was kind of high on my list. All the SF guys got to wear beards. I didn't even have a protective mask within 500 miles of where I was. They said no beards. Okay, no beard. I shaved. You know what? When you join the Army, it's not all going to be rainbows and puppy kisses. I got news for you. Ashley.
Rainbows and puppy kisses.
Yeah. This is
Rainbows
one of
and
those
puppy
moments.
kisses.
The policies suck. Get used to it.
I agree with you. I mean, there is just, you got to pick one. Like you either wear a mask or you get vaccinated. Like it's like for me, it's pretty cut and dry from a policy standpoint. Like it's being enacted for others and the entire like well-being of the community and population. Like
I'm sure
pick
there's
a lane.
Libertarian barracks lawyers out there that are like, it's an untested thing, and then the mask doesn't do any good. And it's like, okay, great. I wasn't aware you're a health policy expert, but you need to get out of the military and go work for the CDC, because we've got to bottle all of your knowledge right now. But in the meantime, as long as you're serving in the Army, do what they tell you. It's pretty simple.
I'm gonna what you said, Mark, is kind of what I wanted to say. It's like you're gonna choose. This is what you're gonna choose out of all of the things that people in the military are told to do, don't understand,
Right.
disagree with, and all of that. And it's because of a bigger problem. And I call them political scientists. And no, that's not one of the majors that I had in college. It's people whose science depends on their politics. And they're bringing it into the military. We don't need that brand of political science in the military. It's fine on Facebook, whatever. I can argue with you and laugh at you and do those kinds of things, but that's where that's for. The military, you don't question or disobey the order. So, and we're all in agreement on that. The part of the story that I'm a little confused on, because I've never actually ever heard of a general officer memorandum of reprimand. Apparently,
because it doesn't generally happen to us lower enlisted types. This is when a lieutenant really screws up, but you don't want to drum him out. You just want him to do his time and say goodbye.
So getting this is that in itself an overreaction? So I believe you have the soldiers overreacting to their firmly held belief that the vaccine and the mask are both violations of their freedom and liberty. Then you have this general who's like, what's the most powerful piece of paper I can slam down on them and put in their file and destroy their career? I think,
it's a letter in your file. It can be dispensed with as easily. It was quite a bit more easy actually than it was even written.
Right.
So the one fear I would have was you got a bunch of E4s who didn't wear their mask, and now you're like, all right, dude, this is it for you. You're out. Like now they have no reason to follow the orders too closely. It's just going to breed people like, well, I'm never obviously re-upping, so might as well go out and then you get dudes jumping out of airplanes with fighting Chinese fish, and you get all kinds of the other idiocy we usually see in the last 30 days of an enlistment. I don't think it. I think this is big Army trying to look tough, and in the end, it really won't matter to anything. I think it's just a shot across the bow to everybody else. Go get your shot, or wear the mask. You got two options. Pick one. So there you go. All right, let's go to ad break number 2 here. We will be back in 30 seconds. Delete.
The American Legion is Veterans Strength in America. We're in your community, supporting veterans, service members, and their families, enriching the lives of young people and promoting citizenship and patriotism. Our members are passionate about these core values. Help strengthen America by joining the American Legion today. For more information, go to legion.org/join.
All right, we are back for rapid fire, which is going to be rapider than most. All right, this was kind of an interesting story, I thought, if only because I happened to watch a documentary that was related to this yesterday. The Navy should build battle taxi variants of Columbia-class subs to carry Marine commandos. This is from Forbes. As the United States refreshes the nuclear triad, gathering up to build 12 big Columbia-class ballistic missile submarines, The U.S. Marine Corps is exploring the feasibility of dispersed operations, de-emphasizing legacy land on the beach amphibious assault concepts for smaller, more agile raider-like teams. One of these new assets for the new battlefield might well be a submarine dedicated to amphibious assault. And I'm not going to go through all the rest of it. But basically what they're talking about is the days of mass Marine landings at Iwo Jima or whatever may be over. And now they're looking at possibly submarines for insertion and exfil. Jeff, what do you think about this?
I actually kind of like this. It's this is a good pivot. Whereas before, I wasn't a big fan of losing all the tanks, because there's things that only tanks can do. So, but I do like this. I always thought it was an inefficient use of human life. The big, massive amphibious assault they're waiting for you, and just, you've seen the beginnings of war movies of these things, and it's not a great it's not a great tactic if you value not just human life, because we all value human life, but the training dollars and everything that goes into creating that warrior, and to just have them gunned down on the beach like it's just like target practice until you get so far in. And I think this is probably a better way of doing it. So I'm in full support.
Ashley?
I too am in full support. I think anything that will improve, the overall welfare and safety of our troops, we should be exploring, and not just in this, but of course in other vehicles and other ways that, warfare has changed, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, because I was thinking, if you look back at our first war in Afghanistan, we had just, the special ops guys, just like 20 dudes riding horses and donkeys that they don't know how to ride. We just got guys running everywhere. And we managed to roll up the country pretty fast with small things. Like, it would have been significantly worse, I think, if we had just massed on the border and then gone in. So I'm with Jeff. Like, I'm a big fan of small unit operations. At the very least, once you get one group of them running, it's a heck of a lot easier to get the rest of them running. And inserting, I mean, it seems, I don't know, it sounds kind of cool to me. If I was a Marine and they were like, all right, dude, we're taking this sub and then we're going to beach and then we're going to go do long range, like, that's awesome. Like, I'm all about going in the sub and landing on the beach. I don't know, seemed pretty cool to me. So, all right, let's see here. Rapid fire 2. This one cracks me up. This is from the Army Times. 100 plus night vision goggles missing at Fort Hood. Special agents from Fort Hood CID detachment are investigating the potential theft of more than 100 missing night vision goggles. 3 Corps officials confirmed to Army Times. Fort Hood is investigating missing monocular night vision devices from a maintenance facility at Fort Hood. Currently, the missing equipment has no immediate impact on unit readiness. You guys have both had NVGs issued to you. We had to have checked serial numbers twice a day, every day. It had to be like the sergeants had to go and actually read the number off there, and they're just missing 100 of them. Not a great look.
You didn't need night vision goggles or any other sight enhancing technology to figure out that this happened at Fort Hood. I mean, they're the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, I think it's Fort Knox.
Wouldn't even have. Oh no, this is Fort Hood.
Oh, it is Fort Hood. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I mean, they're the gift. They make our show. We should thank them.
Ashley, when you had NVGs and you did have them on you, they were behind. They were in the arms locker, right?
Arms locker, lock and key.
Right.
Several people in your way, like including supply sergeant, platoon sergeant. Everything was caged up, and it was in like a double, like locked doors. Then you'd have all the cage locked. Oh yeah.
So
There's
I mean,
no way. Like
I don't know if this is some sort of Ocean's 11 type. Like, who wants 100 NVGs? That's just the monocle one. The monocle one is not really easy to see anything. I don't know. I hope they get a lot for them, but it seems crazy to me.
I hope they get a lot for them. And is this a good thing or a bad thing that has no immediate impact on unit readiness? 100?
Well, it's apparently they were like ones that were being refurbished or whatever, but it's like, all right, so you normally
Ew.
keep them behind a 12-inch steel wall, and now you're just keeping them laid out in a parking lot on a poncho. I don't like, how does one get 100? And what do you do with
Doing
100
showdowns, you know,
NVGs?
they're checking out. They're gonna make sure all the gear's there. You know, you need space. You're gonna need two whoopies. You gotta just lay it down and organize. No, I completely agree.
Every one of us has gone through CIF at one point where you return your
Mhm.
rubber boots that are like still in the plastic, and the supply sergeant's like, oh, they're still dirty. You need to clean
Yeah.
those up. And it's like, dude, it never came out of the bag.
Definitely had that
And now
experience.
the supply sergeants are getting their comeuppance. Like the entire, I guess would be the S4 shop for Fort Hood lost 100 NVGs. Like that would be it's like, dude, your shovel's dirty. Dude, you lost 100 NVGs. Like you got nothing to say on this one. I don't know. You're right. It's so Fort Hood, it hurts. All right. So this is kind of a nice one, timely, because we're about to head into the Olympics here. Immigrant turned U.S. Army soldier / runner headed to Tokyo. I'll be doing this for the United States. And this is about Specialist Bernard Keator, a soldier athlete with the Army's world-class athlete program, who's representing the USA and the US military during the 2020 Olympics. My goal at the Olympics is don't let them down, Keator said to his supporters. I'm doing this for the United States, doing it for the Army, doing it for myself, doing it for my family. And I thought of this earlier because, as Jeff said, you know, our treatment of the Afghans is gonna help us in the future or hurt us in the future. But what makes Keator so special is that he's actually from Kenya. He was not born an American citizen. He got recruited to come here on a track and field scholarship where he went to Texas Tech. Guns up, shout out to my Texas Tech folks. But he now is not just representing the United States, his adopted country, but he's representing his adopted military service. I think this is a spectacular story, and I don't usually watch running, but I guess I'll be watching to root for Bernard Keator. Jeff, what do you think on this one?
I think it's a great story. I think it illustrates why we do need to take care of people. And I'm super excited to see the tear-jerking production that the Olympic video staff is going to make on this guy. You know, have him running in his home country with stuff going on.
It's a Chariots of Fire music in the background.
Yes.
He's been running his whole life.
Right.
And now
Right.
he's running
Now.
for America.
Wait a minute. Do you think they will try to oversell this with a tearjerker movie? Jeff, how dare you?
The Olympics?
Maybe.
Never.
Yeah, I mean, I watched nothing but curling anyway, but it's like if one of them gets a hangnail, they'll have like ominous music in the background. You know, it's like, yeah, we got it. We understand what you're saying. This is a good story, though. Love it. Ash, what do you think?
I love a good inspiration tale, so I'm really excited for Specialist Bernard Keator.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing him come home with some gold.
How did you like my half humming whatever the Chariots of Fire music?
It was beautiful. You
My
are
wife,
so
by the way,
talented.
this showed up on Facebook the other day. My wife did not know there was a difference between the movies Chariots of Fire and Ben-Hur. The movies literally have absolutely nothing in common. One of them has Jesus, and it's not Chariots of Fire. I don't know. It just popped up the other day, and I was thinking of it.
She doesn't listen to this, does she? Because you're going to be in big
Oh,
trouble.
I don't think so. I
Yeah.
hope not. Actually, you know what? I do know that when I'm not home, she plays the video for my kids because she took a video of my son talking to me when I was doing the podcast, and he was showing me his new Batmobile. So maybe, I guess. Sorry, hon. Don't yell at me. All right. Let's see. Rapid Fire 4. This one kind of cracked me up too. Marines are testing drones that fly from grenade launchers. It's pretty cool, but the Marines in an experimental infantry battalion in North Carolina recently tested 7-inch long drones that can be fired from a grenade launcher that can do surveillance or run suicide missions with precision strike accuracy at close range. The drone weighs less than half a pound. Once launched, it extends to 7 inches, can fly for 30 to 60 minutes, and has a maximum range of 20 kilometers. Here's my question. If it can fly 20 kilometers, why are we firing it from a grenade launcher? Like, it seems like a little bit of overkill. Like, why not just go like, okay, go little drone, go fly. But instead we have to shoot it out of a grenade launcher. Seems like a cool idea. I'm just not sure. Jeff, what do you think?
I just think of Tim the Toolman Taylor. That's
Yeah.
why you do it, just because.
Right, it's there. Like,
It's there.
why did you climb Mount Everest? Because it was there. Why did
there.
you fire a drone out of an M203 grenade launcher? Why wouldn't I?
Why
Like,
would right? That sounds awesome.
I mean, it does sound awesome. I'm trying to envision a scenario where you're like, all right, drone, I need you to fly 40 miles. So I'm going to shoot you 400 meters into the air out of my 203, and then you go do your thing. And then what do? You shoot it and then drop everything, you grab the joystick and fly. I don't know. It seems like a modern day idiotic pentathlon type thing where you have to, it's like a biathlon. Instead of skiing and then shooting, you're firing your 203 grenade launcher and then flying a drone 20 miles. It's like, well, you could have just flown it 20.1 miles instead of using the grenade launcher, but whatever. Ashley, thoughts?
It sounds like something out of a video game, right?
Right.
Like, you know how like you like scroll through all the options, and like you in any of your first person shooter games, right? Like you can go and you collect loot and money and
Yeah.
all this ammo, and you can swap out your weapons. Like I just picture like stationary, like I just picture a Marine, and then all of a sudden, like this scroll bar comes through.
Right.
What should I choose? Grenade launcher with drone.
Right.
Got it. And then like,
Yeah, you come off, there's a weapons cache, you hit the little X button, and
Yes.
it's like, do you want extra ammunition for your machine gun, or would you like these grenade launched drone something? Oh, I'll take option D.
I want
Absolutely. Yeah. You're like going to a trader or something on one of the things, and you're like, I need all these parts to have a grenade drone launcher.
Meanwhile, there's some 10-year-old kid from Topeka, Kansas running around shooting you and squatting on your respawn
Yeah.
point, but it is what it is. So
All
It
the
also would make a
things.
better recruiting poster than just some kid with a joystick, and they're like, Marines launch drones in Marine Corps way.
yeah, I'm always a big fan of that sort of meme thing too, like how it started versus how it's going. You see like the Army commercials, and like everyone's on helicopters, and you're like storming the beaches, and you're running into machine gun fire, and then how it's actually going, and you have this guy who's like burning poop in a can overseas, and is like, yeah, or you're just sitting in a guard tower going, wow, this sucks. Like that's what this is. They will show commercials like, you too can fire a drone from a grenade launcher, and then there'll be like 50 guys online picking up some remnants of the drone, like you're doing a police call. I don't know. I guess it's a good idea, but I
I
don't
could just
know.
see the police call. Everyone's like, okay, we can't leave here until we find the
Right.
drone.
Every
Because
last piece
private
of that
such
drone.
and such decided to be a good idea to shoot it off range, and now we got to shut it down. You can just see it already.
Or he shoots somebody else with the drone. Like,
Yeah.
like in the grenade, you have to rotate 46 times or whatever the heck it is. The drone, I'm thinking, doesn't probably need to do that. It comes out, hits a guy in the head, and then the drone flies off. Yeah, I
just
don't
picture
know.
like, I've shot a grenade launcher for a lot of non-lethal stuff for QRF, and like, I just picture it, and I kind of imagine like a Nerf gun with like
Right.
a really specialty attachment to it. And it just like, you ever seen those like, those toy like airplanes and stuff, or like the cars or whatever, and you have to like
Yes.
rev them up on the track.
Right.
Like that's what I picture, and I just see it going, just like shooting off.
I think
this
that
is hilarious.
I think the grenade noise, by the way, from the M203 is the coolest noise ever, because it's just like thunk, thunk,
Thunk.
thunk. I love the noise. Always gets me revved up. All right. So, well, there you go. Now we'll be able to shoot drones out of it for reasons that really escape me. Maybe you can come off the submarine, you can land on the beach, and then you can fire your grenade launch drone, and then it will do the rest of the work for you, which makes it a lot easier. Jeff, what about you? You got a shout out today?
I'm gonna do a shout. We're doing all shout outs from last night. So my shout out will be to Carol Lindemood Harlow and Honor Flight and the work that they do, and just all around great people, great mission, great purpose. That's it.
Ashley?
Okay, so I'm gonna do an at-large shout out to the Kenneth Nash Post 8, which is in DC, that Jeff and I visited and met Carol and Julie and Jason and Stacy, all of them amazing folks that operate and run that post and continue to do wonderful things for our community. So I just want to say thank you for the hospitality, the fun, the laughs, and also helping me entertain Jeff Daly.
All right, my shout out's not really a shout out, but we are, when this airs, I think, 3 weeks out from National Convention. And the three of us will all finally be in the same room at the same time. So anyone listening to this,
and it feels so good.
I don't know. It's 9 days of forced interaction with other people. I don't know how well I'll do. You should come visit me on day 9, which really might be lively. But yeah, and I have no schedule for it yet, so I don't know what we're doing, but make sure that if you are at convention, you come and see us, because we actually would like to meet you. And I'm not nearly as big a jerk as I sometimes appear on TV. Guys, anything for the good of the cause?
No.
Yeah, that's it.
I got nothing. I can't wait for convention either, and I do hope a lot of people come by the booth. I think we're going to get a lot of accidental traffic because we're going to be right next to the My Legion.
Yeah,
and they're going to be busy.
Yeah, well, I mean, they are wildly popular right now, and I recognize that. But when you're done talking to them, if you're still in your right mind, please come visit us. Jeff, have fun at Boys Nation. Better you than me. I will say that. Ashley, tell my hubby I am absolutely going to devote.
Your hubby. He's gonna love. You said my hubby.
Well, yeah, I'm using that euphemistically as yours, but let him know that I am, because he got mad at me and stormed off.
You don't want to talk about.
He stormed off, and all I want to do.
Shows together. Now you miss his face and mouth. Oh, you miss him.
I don't know that I would go quite that far, but thank you for that rendition. But I am going to watch Loki this weekend, so I will be prepared to talk to him. I might watch Black Widow, but I don't know. Watching 2 new things in a weekend is a little more than I'm capable of, I think. So, all right, everyone else, don't forget to subscribe to the Tango Alpha Lima podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you find your podcast. While you're there, don't forget to rate us. You can also send us feedback and love notes at tangoalphalima@legion.org. All right, folks, we will see you next week. Bye.